The gray hair, right there, yes.
Yeah, how did you meet your agent, actually?
How did you meet your agent?
That's actually been an interesting story. I contacted Bob Bergen and Jack Angel online because a friend of mine told me that they actually answered email, and they were two of my favorite voice actors. And so I just wanted to get their advice on some new stuff I was working on and just some questions in the industry. And both of them answered my email. And they both happened to be at my agent's office. Jack happens to be married to my agent. And Bob Bergen, as you all know, the voice of Porky Pig, and Bob and Jack happened to walk my reel into my agent's office, I think within a couple of days of each other. And they both liked my reel and suggested that she take a listen. And I got a call within a week, and she brought me in, and I signed with her. It was pretty amazing. It was easier than most stories happen. I'd been with another agent that really hadn't done much for me for many years. I sat with her for, I think, 4 years. And nothing much really happened, but Arlene kind of took me under her wing and really helped me to figure out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to market myself out there. So,
just to follow up, how much does the agent really make the difference? Is the agent really the one that drives your career, or you have to drive the agent?
You have to drive the agent. I mean, the agent, certainly there are a lot of union jobs in particular, the jobs that you'll be able to pay your mortgage with. Then you're not allowed to really work those jobs unless they go through an agency. The producers particularly like to go through the formality of the agent because the agent can make sure that everything is done properly, all the contracts are done properly. They know you're going to show up on time if the agent says you will. Pretty much you have that relationship with them, and so you need that representation. But as far as actually finding the work, I'd say it's about 50-50 at this point. I've developed a lot of relationships over the years, and so a lot of the work comes because of people knowing what I do and listening to my reel, or I have a personal relationship with them over the last 20 years. But the agent will also have that in that I may not. She'll have access to jobs that I may not. People that I haven't met, especially on the higher levels. And so it's critical to have an agent if you really want to take it to the A-level stuff. But you guys have to be proactive all the time with your agent and make sure that you stay in the loop and that you show up on time. And you really have to be responsible for your own career, ultimately.
Well, I have a quote of you talking about being a professional.
This could go very wrong.
It says, no, it's a nice one. It says, for the most part, I have the best job in the whole world. I usually get to go to several studios every day. I have a home recording booth, and sometimes I'll audition from there, which is nice because I can save myself hours of driving and do auditions in my underwear at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm grateful every single day. The question off of that is that typical? I mean, do you do that? Is there a typical day for Steve Blum?
I only work in my underwear.
Well,
my contract. That wasn't the question. I'm sorry.
I was wondering why you showed up like that.
TMI. My typical day is I'll get up and I'll edit auditions that I've done the night before. I'll go to 2 or 3 casting auditions throughout the day and maybe do 2 or 3 sessions if it's a good day. And then I come home at night, and about 6:30 when my agency closes, I'll get a bunch of emails with a little stack of auditions to do then, and I'm recording until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And then it starts all over again the next day.
So it's true that no matter how successful you are, you spend more time auditioning for jobs than you actually do doing them.
Oh, the guy I mentioned before, Jack Angel, told me when I first started with the agency that the audition is his job. And if you get booked from that, that's just a bonus. And so you have to put as much energy and as much quality into the audition and effort that you would in the final job. That's even more important in the audition stage, because that's where you get made or broke. And that's what they'll remember you from. Even if you weren't cast from that particular audition, they might remember you for another project later on, or another character within that same show.
So how do you keep your attitude up? How do you keep you positive when so much of it is going out and not getting the work?
Well, I really took that to heart, that the audition was the job, and I enjoy the audition process. I enjoy creating characters. I enjoy embodying characters. So for me, all of it's fun, whether I'm getting paid or not. I enjoy the process of it, and I really like the people. And especially starting in anime, the people are the best in the entire industry. It's just a great group of people to work with.
Hear, hear.
Yeah, they're amazing. I mean, they're really like family. When I said it's like coming home here, I meant that. I mean, working at a place like Bang Zoom, it's really like family. I walk in the door, know everybody, and we hug each other, and we are genuinely happy to see each other. So, you know, what can be bad about that? When that's your job and you're going to casting places like that, the voiceover community particularly is very friendly that way. And most of the people I know most of the casting directors in the business, and so it's a friendly environment for me. So I'm not intimidated by it anymore, and I actually enjoy the casting process. It's fun for me to create something from nothing too. So.
Well, good. About these guys out here, there's people out here that want to be voice actors, and they're in various stages of the way. What advice might you have for them, and what questions might you have regarding that? So let's. Yeah, you want to? Anybody? Yes. First hand up, right there.
How long does it usually take to record and edit one scene?
How long does it usually take to record and edit?
For an episode of something, or?
For an episode.
Well, you know the answer to that for anime better than I would.
Anime is about 2.5 to 3 days of recording for an episode. Generally.
And my part would be maybe a couple hours. And within 2 to 4 hours, I can record up to 5 episodes, depending on how big or small the part is. So it varies. On original animation, something like Wolverine and the X-Men, we would go 4 hours to do a session, basically, and that would be 1 episode. But that's only because we've got everybody in the room at the same time. We'll have 12, 15 actors in the same room, and they blast through the script really quickly. And we don't have to worry about lip sync or anything. So it's basically like a live radio play. So it depends on the type of recording. Games are a whole different animal. Games will be doing 400 lines in a session, and that might be one of 10 days of recording, because games can just be so huge. So it really depends on the job. They're all different.
Biggest game I've seen is 20,000 lines of dialogue. So, an average feature film has about 3,500 lines. So
I'm working on a game right now with 45,000 lines. It's crazy.
Wow.
3 studios working simultaneously, and it's going to take months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then when we get done with it, it goes over to these guys, and they have to edit and cut and make something.
They have to make it sound good. They're cleaning up all the mistakes.
So what are some steps that people can take if they want to move forward in this voice acting?
Well, get some training, first of all. Get a lot of educated opinions about your ability, because a lot of people think that it's easy to walk into the studio and be a voice actor, and you know, I can do a funny voice, so I can do it. But can you act and carry that voice through 26 episodes of a series and make it believable? It's, you know, a misconception a lot of people have. So I think you really need to get some acting training under your belt and get a lot of advice. And when you're first starting out, I would say just record the voices that you do and to the best of your ability in whatever format you can. And get a lot of opinions from people that will tell you honestly what they think. Because, you know, if they're your friends and family, they might kind of sugarcoat it and say, that's great. When underneath, you know, they'll walk away and go, oh my God, he'll never do that. It's a future. So just find people that you can trust. And then eventually when you do get a reel cut together and you've got some training under your belt, then you send it out to agencies, and the agencies will give you some feedback, and you kind of hone it from there. But you go to guys like him, because he can train me.
Yay!
Shameless plug. We'll be talking about that, because we do have adventures in voice acting workshops, but I'll talk about that a little bit. Things to watch out for. I mean, is there some pitfalls? I mean, you know, I certainly ran into some when I was first starting out. Anything that you should warn these guys about that they should look out for?
Well, the number one thing I would say is just to be careful of the workshops that you do take. Go to a very reputable one with a good track record, because there are workshops that are available all over the country at all different price ranges for all different amounts of money. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard from people that said that they went to a workshop. There was supposed to be this intensive thing that had casting directors there that were going to help me launch my career. I paid $500 for a couple of days, and it really was worthless. The guy who was teaching had never worked in the industry before. So that's the kind of thing you really have to watch out for, and do your research before you find an instructor. And there's a thing called VoiceOver Resource Guide that has a lot of information on good reputable places to go and get training. And go to reputable workshops. Places like Bang Zoom have these really great workshops they've been developing over the course of many years with really talented working actors. And that's what you want to do. And directors. People that are actually functioning in the industry. And that's what you want.